This is going to be an instructional manual on how to create a lesson plan. Many teachers are tasked with the job to create a lesson plan that teaches their class a lesson that focuses on an element from the Common Core State Standards or Alaska State Standards. The purpose of a lesson plan is determining what students need to learn and figuring out what activity is going to produce progress towards that end goal. The lesson plan can show the learning trajectory for teachers and is able to show how the lesson follows the designated curriculum and standards. This is the lesson plan outline. The first step is to figure out what trait is being taught and what is the subskill of that trait. This is when someone decides the driving force for their lesson plan. This is the skill that kids in the classroom will be working on improving. The trait can apply to several different grade levels, but there will be a specific set of skills that a kindergarten class will be working on that's separate from a second grade class. The second step is figuring out what the understanding goal is. This is another aspect in the lesson plan that outlines what teachers want the students to learn after going through the lesson. Teachers will often start off the understanding goal with, students will understand that, and then teachers will follow that instruction statement with the trait and subskill they chose for the lesson. The step 3 is the standard that is being taught. This is where teachers or someone creating a lesson plan will state the standard that will be focused on during the lesson. The Common Core State Standards and Alaska State Standards are accessible to all through the internet. In this portion of the lesson plan, it's important to be very specific about stating where it was found in either the English language arts standards or mathematics standards. The fourth step is figuring out the activity that will be used as an assessment tool. This is when a teacher will create a task to help determine whether a student understood the goal of the lesson. Step 5 is a list of materials that will be used. This is necessary for the lesson and ensures that nothing is forgotten. Step 6 is a detailed procedure. This is the most complicated part of the lesson plan. It takes the most time because it's a detailed step-by-step list of how the lesson plan will play out. The detailed procedure should include what the person teaching the lesson should say and what the student should be doing. Step 7 is differentiation. This is for students that are struggling and need the extra help, and this is for students that are quick at a rapid pace and finish the assessment tool quickly. This lesson plan outline is something that I've developed myself. I am working with the kindergarten class, and the skill that we're working on is word choice, and we're going to focus on attention to details. The standard that we're working on is WK2. This is the use of combination of drawing, dictating, and writing to compose informative/explanatory text in which they name what they are writing about and supply info about topic. This can be found in the Alaska State Standards. The writing task that we're going to use is descriptive words to create an image, and then the picture will have to match the descriptive words that were written on the paper. The materials we're going to use is a book called Toad by Ruth Brown, crayons, pencils for students, worksheet for assessment, and a whiteboard and markers to model the example. The detailed procedure I'm going to use is the use of statements that say give students with their hands raised a chance to share their opinions, then say from the picture, I think odorous means stinky. That's just an example of something that I would say. The differentiation that I'm going to use is for students that finish first, they're going to create a sentence using describing words they chose. Students that are struggling can partner up with a classmate to come up with ideas. It's important to remember that creating a lesson plan is a process. The first time creating a lesson plan, it might be a very, very rough draft, like the example on the left. But eventually, after talking with a PLC, which is a professional learning community, which could be people working in the same grade level as you, you can get to the point where your lesson looks like the one on the right, where it's more not so rough. This is a lesson plan outline that is provided by the School of Education at UAF. This is something that a lot of the elementary education students use when first learning how to create a lesson plan. You can see that it says the writing trait, the understanding goal, the standard that's being used, the writing task that's used for assessment, the materials that are needed, and the background resources that were used to create the lesson. It's important to supplement the lesson with a fun book that can help you teach the understanding goal. And this is an example of me in class working on a lesson for my literature for children's class.